Well, we have yet another issue that we need to deal with here on the show. It's about integrity and honesty and people that we entrust to protect us. Problem is, for a lot of these people that are given our trust, they betray our trust at the behest of the people that control them so they can make more money. What am I talking about? Sober DUIs. And they're growing astronomically. And this is unacceptable. You know, okay, almost said a bad word. Here's the deal. You drive drunk, you belong in jail. You belong not having your license and not behind the wheel of a car. But to the cops who engage in conviction at any cost, you need to be dealt with. And the system needs to be dealt with. There needs to be integrity on both sides, both from citizens and from the police and city officials they represent. We're going to talk about that right here on the Common Sense Show. Now, are you ready? Some people are calling it the apocalypse. I don't know. The end days. I don't know. But we are headed for major supply chain issues yet to be talked about today. Are you going to be ready, or are you going to be looking for mercy and support from people who don't care about you? Well, it's simple. Get your storable food right now. You won't have a problem. My Patriot Supply is who I've always dealt with. I have mine. 25-year shelf life, 2,000 calories. Food tastes great. Bottom line is, if you don't have it and the supply chain goes away for a while, you could be in big trouble. Don't let that happen to you right now. Specials are there. Go to, what do you want? You want to go to preparewithdave.com. That's preparewithdave.com. Well, we're going to share a report from WLTV in Tennessee. And this is unacceptable, totally unacceptable under any circumstances. And we are looking at abuse of authority. We are looking at people who do not deserve to be police when they're blatantly dishonest. They should lose their pension. They should lose their jobs. They should even face criminal prosecution for fraud. Now, what am I talking about here? Well, it's really simple. I'm talking about police officers abusing the public trust.
Then there's this, a WVLT.
Bit of a glitch here. Let's go ahead and try queuing this up again. And we're going to hear from WLTV out of Tennessee.
A WVLT investigative report tonight. A year after what started as a minor fender bender near Westtown Mall in Knoxville, a woman says her night ended in jail, humiliated, while completely sober. Good evening. Glad you're here for WVLT News at 6 o'clock. I'm Ted Hall.
And I'm Casey Wheelis. She's now taking that Knoxville police officer and the city to federal court, claiming that officer rushed a DUI arrest, fabricated evidence, and violated her civil rights. Our Harry Sullivan joins us now. Harry, you have body cam footage from that traffic stop, plus you talked to the retired agent herself. What did you learn?
Yeah, Allison Chumis doesn't want anyone to go through what she went through, and she's calling for change. I sat down with a Lenoir City resident who says her civil rights were violated. A fender bender on Father's Day weekend last year turned into a DUI arrest.
You have the right to remain silent.
It's now at the center of a federal civil rights lawsuit.
The almost immediate suggestion that I had been drinking was very surprising, shocking, and I denied it to him. And yet he continued to press on that.
Allison Chumis says Knoxville police officer Christian Ferreras took over the call, spent about a minute talking to drivers, and then moved quickly into field sobriety tests.
I smell a thing of alcoholic beverage.
The lawsuit claims those tests were not properly administered and says Ferreras fabricated smelling alcohol.
The pen light he was using flashed on and off intermittently, and I raised that to his attention 3 times. Lights off again, lights off again. And he did not respond at all about that. And yet the test is follow the pen light.
Chumis, who spent more than 3 decades with the FBI, says she never pulled that card at the roadside, even after being put in cuffs.
He did not.
You know, she's an FBI agent, retired, but she should have spoke up. Not that you get special privilege, but she should have told this officer, hey, I'm retired FBI, 3 decades. You're breaking the law, you're violating my rights, and I want your supervisor here right now. That's what should have been said. She made another mistake as well. And we're going to go back to her story in a minute because it gets horrific. But number one, no state in the union requires you to take a field side sobriety test. And you don't have to. There's no way they can make you. These tests are designed to make you fail. There are no standards for passing. It's totally subjective. It's not like they have a scoring mechanism. Well, I just think you're drunk. Why? Because I think so. That's what cops have to say. And then they report it down. Suspect swayed a little bit. Well, how much is swaying? Look, I'm swaying right here. Am I drunk? Well, let's see. No, I'm just drinking coffee. Sway this way. I just stuttered, so they'd go down the report. Here's the bottom line. When they tell you, I think you've been drinking, you say, you're mistaken. I'd like your supervisor here. And I'm not answering any more questions without my lawyer present. Shut the heck up. Do not talk. Now, don't physically resist. Well, I'm going to arrest you for DUI. And I would make one exception. I'd say, well, you're violating my civil rights, and I'm going to peel away your qualified immunity. They get real nervous when they hear that because most citizens don't even know what that means. It means cops can make, quote, good faith mistakes and they can't be prosecuted. I am totally opposed to qualified immunity. When I was in the classroom as a teacher and a professor, I didn't get qualified immunity. If I violated someone's rights, I was held accountable to the letter of the law. Why aren't the people who have to enforce the laws subject to consequences of not obeying the very laws that they're supposed to enforce? So this FBI agent surprised me. But not talking, not asking for a supervisor, and then shutting up. Okay, now, knowing that she made a couple of fundamental mistakes, this gets really bad.
Tell me that I failed it. He did not tell me that I passed it. He just handcuffed me.
The lawsuit says she was booked into the Knox County Detention Facility, strip searched, issued jail clothing, fingerprinted and photographed, then held for more than 12 hours before being released.
You know, being told to disrobe in front of a female deputy was humiliating as well, all the way down to naked, given clearly old, dingy underwear that had been worn by who knows how many inmates prior to me. Was just unreal, just stressful, traumatic.
The complaint also describes what happened after, saying bond conditions required an ignition interlock device and that it malfunctioned, disabling her car in traffic. Court records in the lawsuit say,
you know, let me digress for a minute with something we've covered earlier, and that's the kill switch. So the kill switch, you take metformin, you could trigger it with diabetic medication, certain kinds of gum, mouthwash, and you're in the middle of traffic. You might be in the middle of the highway, and your car's kill switch says, oh, well, this person's disabled from being drunk. Oh, stop the car. How much in danger are you going to be? Same thing here with this interlock device. Malfunctions put her and other people at risk, all based on totally bogus charges, because at the police booking area for the jail, she was 0 blood alcohol, negative for tests on drugs.
the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation lab reports later came back negative for both alcohol and drugs, and the DUI charge was dismissed months later on December 4th. This is the third sober DUI case we've reported on in the past month alone.
That's one TV station in a 30-day period, 3 sober DUI. See, these aren't mistakes. You know, we might understand it's an occasional mistake. Officer, just made a bad mistake in judgment. But 3 in the same area, It's all about money, money, money. It's all about getting your revenue, all about padding their city coffers with your money. This is happening all over the country. I saw a video last year. A 19-year-old college athlete got in trouble at his university, stopped for DUI, arrested, blew 0-0, even on the field side sobriety, which you should not take because they're notoriously inaccurate. And then they go to the county lockup, 0-0, and they still charged him with DUI. And he got in trouble over this. Even when he produced 0-0 blood alcohol. How much longer are we going to put up with this abuse where every level of government in America is forsaking the Constitution and they are putting our rights and our safety at risk with cases like this? Christian Ferreras, the police officer in question here, is not alone. Now, there are some solutions that we can invoke. Number one, maybe the cops will be a little more careful if they don't have qualified immunity. They don't need qualified immunity. Act with good judgment. Plain and simple. Number two, you do not allow a law enforcement agency to investigate itself. So the fox is going to review their actions in the hen house? I don't think so. So that's the second thing that needs to happen. Okay, third, they should be required to have instantaneous field sobriety tests by removing blood. You call someone just like they call the drug dog. Oh, but it's inconvenient. Oh, but you can call in the drug dog. That's not inconvenient. And you bring in the person and you get an instant read. Do they have alcohol or drugs in their system? It's that simple. And if we don't do things like this retired FBI agent who should have spoken up for herself, and she didn't. Yeah, I'm critical of her because she didn't know her rights. And being a 30-year FBI agent, she should have known her rights. To the average person, no, you don't know. So again, ask for the supervisor. You're an air officer. Call your supervisor. You need help with this. You're breaking the law and violating my rights. And beyond that, I have nothing to say. And then make sure that's on their body cam and you have warned them. When you go to court, there is a decent chance if they've acted inappropriate like this cop did, that the judge will peel back qualified immunity. But in the meantime, we need to lobby our legislators to do away with that. The police need to operate under the same color of law that they demand of the public. No more, no less. But this is a growing problem across America. I would encourage you to now follow my direction. I do not answer questions without an attorney present. Can I search your car? I do not consent to a search. That's not rude. You're not being uncooperative regardless of what the cop says. That can't be held against you. If you don't take the roadside sobriety test, which you shouldn't, they can't use that in a court action. I hope that you've learned something from this because this is a growing problem. And you might just have a headlight go out, you're 3 blocks from your house. Oh, they must be drunk. Yeah. It's an easy score. And I'm going to say this too. Okay. And I'm largely a supporter of the police, except in cases like this. But we are looking at a situation now where this is abuse. And this is just like the last segment that we did with the new cash transaction reports to banks, where they can take everything you own because they think you deposited too much money in the bank or you're playing games with them and you're not. Same thing here. It's all about separating you from your wealth. And I'll go one more on this to give you the triumvirate. Preparing, as they're all starting to do across America now, the states and then the federal government wants in on this. They want to tax the equity in your home. You've already paid tax on it, first of all. Second of all, they make it retroactive. Yeah. And you could owe say a 30-year mortgage could have appreciated $600,000 at a 40% tax rate that they're talking about 43%. You could be coming up with $150,000 to $200,000 or lose your home. Do you see a pattern here, people? This is a gigantic ripoff. And we need to stand our ground. But let's start with this. No qualified immunity. And that means members of Congress, too. I'm Dave Hodges. This is The Common Sense Show.